Two have been struck out this morning. So we're expecting that the government will also withdraw the third one, which concerns about 11 people. That one is still pending in this court. It's coming up this week. Later this Friday.
All right. Thank you very much, sir.
Are you happy with the proceedings?
But we also expect the federal government to take steps. Calling on the federal government to take steps to return these children to their homes and then embark on rehabilitating them. And as we have applied to the court, to also enroll them in schools. We are also calling on the governments of Kaduna and Kano states to take urgent steps to have these children, particularly taken back to their homes. Yesterday, 19 people were also charged in Borno State, including minors. Again, we are calling on the government to discontinue all cases pending in different states with respect to the August protest. I'm also aware that 16 people are standing trial in Kano. Initially, 632 were arraigned before a mobile court, but today, 16 are still standing trial in court. Once the government has recognized the constitutional rights of Nigerians to protest, the criminalization of protests in Nigeria must stop. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning, afternoon, and evening, depending your time zone. Today, once again, we're here to have discussions on what is happening in Nigeria. As you know, there has been a release of the minors, and we're going to get to that to have discussions of what transpired, how they were moved from the prison to the presidential villa. That is it. The people who are said to be that have committed treasonable felony, people who are supposedly to be executed for trying to overthrow Chief Bola Tinubu, is now invited to the presidential villa to dine with the person they are supposed to have removed from the office. That is very interesting. We're going to talk about that and several other things that get up today. But with me in the studio to have the discussion, I have Angel here and, of course, active Nigerians who are on Zoom to join us on this discussion today.
Good day, my well-active citizens and obedient worldwide. Welcome. Tell your neighbor, say, hope day, but not in our leaders or in our politicians, but in God. The court is an extension of the presidency. Welcome on board. Let's discuss.
Yes, indeed, the extension of the presidency. Well, today we are going to jump straight into the discussions from here. So, Angel, before we get to our people who are going to expressly elaborate and give the analysis of what they think about today. But starting from you, you've seen them, the people that said that has come to overthrow Chief Bola Tinubu, which in the past months we have been shouting and we have been letting Nigerians know that these people need to be released, but nobody talked. Their governors did not speak up, their parents did not speak up. But at the end of the day, we see the same people who are supposed to remove Tinubu going to dine with him at the presidential villa and not lifting a finger or any arms to take over the country. What's your take on that? And precisely, why do you think that the governors are now using this opportunity to
fired against protest?
Because they are using the children to shine. Of course, maybe the parents would have been asking and nobody would tell them anything because they picked them from the protest. Yes, they picked them from the protest because one of the lawyers said they are going to rehabilitate them, give them scholarship from primary to university. That some of those children that their parents have been looking for them as a missing person.
Wow, that's talking about the missing person. Let me quickly get to our people who are joining us on Zoom. We have His Excellency, that is Mr. Peter Aka, who is joining us on Zoom. We also have Mr. Basi and Mr. Tony on Zoom. But let's start this discussion with Mr. Peter Aka. So my question to you, Mr. Peter, welcome on today's program. My question to you is just like Angel said, that these children might have gone missing. Their parents may not have known where they had gone to. Does this look like what happened last week when we saw somebody from the National Assembly, a representative of the people, who said that he could make somebody to disappear in Nigeria and nobody will say anything? So, do you think that this is more or like what happened because we have not heard anything from their parents, we have not heard from the governors crying about their citizens being held in Abuja? What is your take about the elaborate ceremony going on at the Aso Rock Villa today with these children in attendance?
The third one, which concerns about 11 people. That one is still pending in this court. It's coming up this week. Later this Friday.
All right. Thank you very much, sir.
Are you happy with the proceedings?
But we also expect the federal government to take steps. Calling on the federal government to take steps to return these children to their homes and then embark on rehabilitating them, and as we have applied to the court, to also enroll them in schools. We are also calling on the governments of Kaduna and Kano states.
Please just give us persuaded. Yes. No, put out. So they won't mix up. That guy should stop. Hey, Kadawa. So they won't mix up yet. Young hand. Your hand now, you are blocking. What is your to inside first? So I have to be sure that. Where did they go from? Please just give us persuaded. Yes. No, put out. So they won't mix up. That guy should stop. Hey, Kadawa. So they won't mix up yet. Young hand. Your hand now, you are blocking. What is supposed to move inside first? So why have to be so?
I believe that his audio being affected probably is corrected now. Mr. Peters, can you hear me?
I can hear you clearly.
Okay, please come again because we lost you at certain points. Can you come again with the issue about the children being at the Aso Rock Villa once again?
Okay, so yes, you had. If you can hear me now, am I clear, sir?
Yes, I can hear you clearly. Please go ahead.
Okay. So you were trying to, draw a line between the issue and of these children not disappearing for more than 90 days and the case of the honorable who threatened to disappear a full citizen. And my response was that this case is even worse because we are dealing with a national tragedy, a case of children who, have been left, have become victims and are vulnerable and have become victims of a failed system. Today, the president or the government is hosting children who were charged for treason and treasonable felony and attempts to overthrow a government. But somehow those children are seated in the seat of power today. And then a lawyer, the counsel to the government, Rimazon Ezekiel, said they were adults, they were married, they were graduates. Today we can now see the adults and the graduates amongst them. And all of this charade that is going on is on taxpayer money. The Kano governor who will come to Abuja is coming on taxpayer money. The ceremony at the banquet hall at the presidential villa is on taxpayer money. So Nigerian politicians will create a problem and will still spend your resources in trying to fix a problem they are created. But going further, the most unfortunate situation is the fact that this is just a symptom of a problem. Nigeria has, according to UNICEF statistics, more than 18 million out of school children. Amongst that number, the North alone accounts for more than 15 million. The least amount is from the Southeast, followed by South-South, then the Southwest, and then the North. So if the Kano governor comes to take 40 children because people have shouted today and Chief Tinubu has released the children, if he takes maybe 30 from Kano, what happens to the more than 1.1 million children that are on the streets of Kano? What about the millions in Adamawa, Katsina, Zamfara, Yobe, Gombe, and all of that plus Kaduna? If we do not address the issue of child illiteracy out of school children, and we cannot draw a direct link to that, to the insecurity and instability in the region, then the government is not ready to fix any problem because we are just seated on a keg of gunpowder. This is a symptom of a problem. The root cause has not been addressed and politicians are just doing a knee-jerk reaction because this has come to limelight. Where were the parents? Where were the governors when the children were absent for more than 90 days? But today we are where we are. So we can just continue to be hopeful and that Nigerians will realize that all these issues are just a wake-up call for us to arise and address an existential problem that we face as a people.
Okay, let me quickly bring the issue of the EFCC, which is the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, who had arrested the former governor of Delta State, Ifeanyi Okowa, for alleged diversion of 1.3 trillion. Now, my question is, we have that of Yaya Bello, and EFCC has not been able to do that. Why is that of Delta State easier for them to deal with? And we have like Goswell Akpabio, who also is at the Senate, but they have also not been able to arrest him. Why is it the oppositions that are being targeted for arrest?
Thank you very much. So if we even want to go about that account, a sitting minister in the Chief Tinubu's cabinet, in the person of the former governor of Rivers State, boasted on national television that no political appointee in Rivers State from the senators to the sitting governor to every House of Assembly member bought political party nomination form by themselves. This is not an allegation. This is the governor saying it in an open event that he paid for all of them. Today, that person is seated and serving under the government of a presidency that claims to be fighting corruption. The former governor of Kogi State visited the EFCC headquarters in Abuja, and the EFCC asked him to go back home, that they will come and get him. The EFCC went there that night to go and arrest him, and the security personnel who were with the former governor opened fire on EFCC officials, and they started shooting in the air, and the EFCC officials had to leave. These are the words of the EFCC spokesperson, not my words. And then again, amongst all of them, the former governor of Abia State, who was even convicted and sent to prison, retained his position as Senate Chief Whip then until the Supreme Court overturned that ruling, and today he's back in the National Assembly. The only two convictions we had from EFCC, the former governor of Taraba State and Plateau State, Reverend Jolly Nyame and Governor Joshua Dariye, were given presidential pardons by the Buhari administration. What are we trying to say? There is nothing more evil than a fake war against corruption. There is nothing more bad than a fake and evil war against corruption. If you want to sanitize the system, charity must begin at home. The presidency must show it. The appointees and their political appointments must show it. It must be a reflection. If not, at the end, it will just be a media trial. Oh, Okowa misappropriated 1.3 million derivative formula funds from Delta State. At the end, a judgment is given, or what is it called? Bail is granted, and that will be the end. Remember that the former governor of Anambra State has case with EFCC. You haven't heard so much about Chief Willie Obiano's case. So it is like that. Do we want to continue going after opposition politicians while the ruling party governors continue to have a field day? If we were ready to fight corruption, we will see it in the attitude and in the actions of the anti-graft agency. But until then, let us continue to chase political enemies in the name of fighting corruption.
All right, thank you very much, Aka, for being with us today, and we do appreciate you coming on and sharing with us your depth of knowledge. Thank you very much. Let's quickly come back and then talk to the other people, Mr. Bassi and Mr. Dixon. So you heard what Mr. Aka had to say about the opposition and all whatnot. What's your take on this, Angel?
Yeah, I think the APC government are doing selective justice. Yeah, since you are not in their party, because Oshomolo said, be in APC and your sins are forgiven. So since ex-governor Kowa wasn't in APC, so his sins wasn't forgiven. Even Ganduje, Yaya Bello, many of them that are in APC that are corrupt, even more than this ex-Delta governor, they didn't touch them. Why?
Well, I think you are correct. Mr. Bassi, if you are there, can you hear me, Mr. Bassi? Mr. Bassi, can you hear me? Seems to be having this connection error. Okay, Mr. Tony, you're there. Okay, let's take Mr. Tony. So, Mr. Tony, you've heard what Mr. Randy Peters spoke about, and you heard about the elaborate ceremony that went on in Aso Rock Villa about these children. You could take the two of them at once. What are your thoughts on the children that were supposed to be the ones overthrowing Chief Bola Tinubu now happens to be the one celebrating with him in Aso Rock Villa? That's one. Then the second one has to deal with the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission arrest of opposition party people, but leaving out the APC people. Those are the two things we want you to give us your insight on.
Yes. You know what? We all know that this country has its priorities twisted. Yesterday, you had these kids in custody, in prison. And this prosecutor came to the mic and said, these are not kids. They are graduates. They are more than 17 years old.
They are married.
They are married with children. But it turned out to be a phantom lie. A fat lie. What else do you expect? Now they are showing what this country, the crookedness in this system we call Nigeria. Can you now elevate them and then have an elaborate ceremony for people yesterday you incarcerated? And now you are having ceremonies for them. Isn't that bizarre? Absolutely bizarre. You know, why not quietly send them back? Why celebrate them? Look at the governors. You are handing them over to their governors. Where were those governors when these kids were in prison? Where were they? Nobody heard from them. Not the media. Only some lawyers were fighting for these people in the courts. Very few of them. Now the governors want to now share credit, which is almost awkward. You never thought about them when they were suffering. Now that they are released because of pressure by Nigerians and even the world outside Nigeria. And now you want to come and take credit. You're taking them back. So you're going to take them back. What are you going to do with them? What are you going to educate them? And I think Falana should really press on with what he's doing. Let this government pay for their education to the highest level. Let these governors take care of them and their families too. Yeah, you just mentioned that one rep said that he can make somebody disappear. It has been happening. This is not the first time. If you don't have somebody who can speak on your behalf and you don't have money, you'll be languishing in jail, in custody. It's happening in this country every day, all the time. So it is really, really weird, let me use that word, weird, that the governors will be flying in to Aso Rock to celebrate the release of kids rather than planning what to do with them and their future. Now, the EFCC, the COA was reported to have visited because he was invited in Port Harcourt. And now they claim that he was arrested. Well, he's going to go to court and defend himself. If you say he's corrupt and the charges you levied against him, you have to prove it in court. So let us watch and see how they go about it. ECOWA is not the only person, only ex-governor that has been claimed we are corrupt. What happened to the previous ones? No, I don't think anything happened to them. They always find a way to wriggle themselves out of the situation all the time. Going back to Chimaroke's regime in Enugu State, even to the current governor we have, was arrested and was in EFCC custody for a couple of months. Now he's the governor. We don't know exactly how much money was extracted from him. And we don't know the kind of deal they had. that set him free. We don't know the amount of money he paid, they got from him. And EFCC will come and say, yeah, this year we recovered the 400 and something billion naira. Who did you recover? Who did you recover the money from? They don't say. And it's one of the problems we have here. Why don't you tell us who you recover the money from so that we can shame them? The public can shame them. Public will know who they are and watch out for them. But they keep quiet. They keep it a secret. This is the system we are. A system that the current people, handlers, are incapable of resolving the issues bedeviling this country. They are incapable of doing that. That's why you have, it's like the zoo, where every animal just does whatever it wants, goes wherever it wants. This is Nigeria. No consequence for bad behavior, no consequence for theft, no consequence for maladministration. Everything is just, it's okay. This is Nigeria. You can get by with it. And this is where we are. And until we get people who are capable of solving our problems, our economic problems. The IMF was saying that because of the devaluation of Naira and the subsidy removal, that the poverty rate in Nigeria this year, 2024, is about 43%. And it's going to get worse by next year. It may reach up to 52% if something is not done. So here we are. We are celebrating kids falsely arrested and imprisoned. We are celebrating going to pray for God to come and solve our problems. And we have people spending public funds to do all those things. And you tell me that Nigeria is going to be better. All these current handlers have to go, all of them. They have to go before this country can get any better.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Tony. Thank you so much. Today has been a lot of network issue, connectivity issue, not being able to reach one or two. But I think that is as much as we can take now due to the network glitches that we're experiencing. So, Angel, just briefly, let's hear your final take in this, and then we close down for today. Maybe tomorrow will be a better day.
Yeah, my own take is this APC government is so shameless. What are they celebrating? That is my question. What are they celebrating? That is another embezzlement. Yes, they have mapped out millions, billions, saying they are celebrating. What are they celebrating? Yes, because those children have been missing for more than 3 months. It have to take Nigerians to cry out to pressure the government for them to release those children. And now you say you want to celebrate. What are you celebrating? It's just another way of embezzling money, and which is not good. This government needs to sit up because Nigerians are suffering. You protest, another problem. You talk, another problem. Are we no longer in democracy? Yes, they need to stop and sit up and do the right thing. Prayer cannot solve the problem they are supposed to solve as human beings. Most of them, all of them do travel outside the country. They see how other people are running their countries. They should do the same. Thank you so much, Mr. Peter Akas. Thank you so much, Mr. Tony, Mr. Bassi. We appreciate you. God bless you. My active citizens, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for being with us. Like, share, and subscribe. Thumbs up. Share it. Let others know what is going on, that this is another APC embezzlement. They are celebrating the people they took off from the street. I will even say they kidnapped from protest ground. We appreciate you. We love you. Thank you so much, but God loves you more. Bye for now.